Welcome, race fans, to the Elite Old Testament Firearm Truck Series, the Byrd Racing 150 at Auto Club Speedway, 2-mile racetrack. We're going to be racing on into the night. This is the second race into the final racing of the chase. This is it, folks. This is what gets you into the final four 2 races from now. Joining me tonight, I'm Gerald Campbell. I have Miss Dr. Erica Campbell with me, my lovely wife. And of course, in the broadcast with us, doing these lovely shots that you see here tonight, is David. He's going to be filling us in and showing us these beautiful sights as these trucks come around this very fast, very flat speedway here. Well, what you got to experience a little bit of us in the if you were able to tune in for the IndyCar series. Erica and I know a lot more about the stock cars so far. Erica, what going in tonight? Are you having any kind of thoughts as you know some of the trucks and you know some of these drivers from watching previous broadcasts? You got a few drivers that you're going to be looking out for tonight?
I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Jeff Green. Obviously, he is experienced both in real life and in the sim series as well. And other than that, just plan to kind of keep an eye on these names that may be a little bit more unfamiliar to me. And I'm excited to be part of today's broadcast. Thank you for having me.
Oh wow, we appreciate it. She's got the lovely voice, so she'll be doing all the sponsor shout outs and she'll definitely give these drivers a very warm welcome when she does the rundown of qualifying. Qualifying is underway now. They should complete this in about 2 more minutes here, and then we'll be able to start the engines and get going on the grid. Real quickly, we're going to do a rundown of the points because this is the chase. This is what's important. This is what these guys are here to do tonight. Very tight. One driver, though, is pretty much in the catbird seat as far as feeling just fine. And obviously, that was 2 weeks ago, our winner. And I believe that was, let me see here, I got the points in front of me. Shane Therian, yes, first win of the year for him. He was well deserving of that race. He definitely worked hard. Those FRN group cars definitely had some speed that week, hoping to carry it on over. Both him and his two teammates are in the top four as of right now. Both those are in on points. Tom Bourne, Bronson Stafford, both of those drivers are in right now in points, but a lot can change with 2 races. One driver that's up 20 points up is Jared Rexing. Still not quite locked in. Definitely needs to be able to complete a good long run for tonight. Drivers looking to get some spots gained. Chad Thernquist back in fifth, 4 points out. Harrison Talon 9 points out. Tyler Dixon 14 points out. Corey Abbott 18 points out. Shane Ryan 25 points out. Alec Ballvance 31 points out. Those last 3 drivers right there had a rough time of it last week in Las Vegas. And then obviously we got Scott Crump uh, coming in as one of the favorites. Missed last race. He's hoping to win at this point. I think he's about all he's going to be able to do. And then obviously Brent Jones back in 12th, also one of those drivers that missed last week. Well, qualifying is wrapped up. I'm going to have Miss Dr. Erica Campbell do the run race down of the qualifying positions, and I'll let her take it away.
All right, so starting on pole this evening, we have Shane Therian. In the second position, Jared Rexing, followed by Chad Thernquist in third. Rolling off in fourth is Jeff Green, Harrison Talon in fifth, Bronson Stafford in the sixth position, Daniel Martinez in the seventh position, Corey Abbott in the eighth position. Rolling off in ninth is Brandon Key, followed by Trey Holmes in the 10th position, Alec Balvans in the 11th position, Jordan Owens in the 12th position, Scott Crump in the 13th position. 14th position, we have William Harrington, Hunter Smith in the 15th position, Ryan Barbieri in the 16th position. 17th position is Dustin Dewar. Dylan Jones in the 18th position. 19th is Michael Hossack. 20th, Michael Goodman. 21st, Joshua Freed. 22nd, Sean Ryan. In 23rd, we have Kyle Walgren, Sam Bootwell in 24th, Tyler Dixon, 25th position. In 26th, we have Anthony Lee and Tom Bourne in 27th position.
Yeah, Tom Bourne, the only driver not to actually post a time in qualifying. He's decided to start at the back. Risky maneuver, because it is a pretty stacked field. 27 cars, 27 trucks, that is, showed up. Erica did a lot better this time, as well as I will, with names than we did in the IndyCar series. So we're happy to be back where we're familiar with these amazing truck series. In my opinion, some of the best racing that Elite provides is out of these truck series. A lot of these drivers are looking to finish off this season. Most of them may be new to Elite. This is their way to be able to get up into the next season. They just announced that earlier today, the FRN group there of Shane Therian, all three of those drivers, Tom Bourne, one of those, are all going to be going up into the Cup Series next year. They had to get through the Truck Series, show that they have some talent level and some ability to be able to be smooth out on the track. And so far, they've definitely done that as they run in the top four in points. Well, they're going to be rolling off the grid here. They're going to be coming around to take the green flag this time by. As we said, Shane Therian, the driver that's locked in, feeling very confident as he goes out and qualifies on pole, ends up being out front for it. Nothing to really lose. And then looks like Jared Rexing is going to be in second. So another one of those drivers that is fairly comfortable with how the points shape up as of right now. But again, they need to with a stacked field like this and numbers, they definitely need to be able to have a decent run tonight. Well, Erica, so here they come around. We're going to see a lot of drafting. The key here is going to be trying to keep the truck clean, but we're going to be able to come around and take the green flag this time by. 80 laps is the mark. There is 2 stage, and points awarded at the end of the stages in both of them. While the pace car is off, we're about to go green. We're going green where the racing gets good and the good gets racing. And out front, it looks like Shane Therian able to get out to a couple truck length lead over and is able to get up in front. Yeah, decent jump for him in front of Jared Rexing. Jared Rexing has the 92 underneath him. That is right behind the 92 is Jeff Green, showing his presence early on. Looks like the bottom is the way to go for at least the start. Oh, the 51 gets a little bit loose. Yeah, oh, and they're 4 wide back there for a short time. Looks like Jared Rexing able to get underneath Chad Thernquist there going into turn 3. Well, real quick, Erica, what do you think so far? Is it shaping up pretty fast, isn't it?
It's getting off to a good start, and definitely I'm seeing that Nesquik machine kind of weaving in and out, just trying different lines.
Yeah, they are starting to space out a little bit further in the pack. See, we have a little bit of an issue with the broadcast, a little bit blinking here. We'll try to get that fixed up. In the meantime, we'll give you the rundown how everything's shaping up. Like we said, it looks like so far Shane Therian leads the way. Still side by side. The last couple laps has been Jared Rexing and Chad Thernquist. Looks like Jared Rexing is able to start to nose away from Chad Thernquist on the outside, able to get a 2 truck length lead over him now. Now he's going to try to see if he can track down the front runner here. As you see right behind Chad Thernquist, another one of those FRN trucks. It was so easy to spot out with those big letterings on those hood. Bronson Stafford, one of those drivers that's in right now, needs to have a good run. Well, right now, Erica, it looks like out of the top 5, there is a total of 4 chase drivers. Looks like all the chase drivers ended up showing up for tonight.
And it looks like they're kind of lining up single file at this point, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. They're this type of track here. It's difficult to stay side by side because you just lose so much speed on the guys in front of you. So if you can make the pass, you try to, and making the pass it is. It looks like Jared Rexing looked underneath Shane Therian. So far, he's got it. He's got the nose underneath him. That's all he needed to do. They're going to be able to go into turn 1 here, side by side. He dives down low, trying to take that low approach. Shane Therian trying to take that high side, trying to get the run. It's able to clear him. Yeah, he clears him there, but does the dive bomb back underneath him. Shane Therian's going to be able to go side by side. No, he's not.
All right, and we have 3 wide, a little bit farther back in the field as well.
Yeah, racing's getting good here. I would believe at this track there's a lot of runs to be provided if you can get the draft on them. I don't really see a driver early on be able to get too far ahead. Again, Shane Therian and Jared Rexing having a fantastic battle for the lead. Jared Rexing trying to get the short way around the racetrack, trying to make it up there. He knows he's not going to have the draft with being able to run down that low, but he's trying the best he can.
Gerald, I noticed that he went even, I believe it's called below the apron there. Is that something that you can do in this track? Are you allowed to make a pass with that?
That's a good question. Actually, in this track, you can be able to go the low light line. It's not like Talladega and Daytona where you have to stay above it. It's a little bit offsetting for the car because it's a different degree. Oh, and you see Jared Rexing cut off Shane Therian. Boy, and they're getting aggressive out there. You think Jared Rexing would see that Shane Therian's got nothing to lose, but Jared Rexing, as we've seen from previous races, one noted at Bristol where he and Chad Frankenfield was able to get together and walk away with a win for him. He's not opposed to being super aggressive on these tracks. He's actually going to be bump drafting. Oh, you see the truck starting to wiggle from the bump draft. You're riding on board right now with Chad Thernquist as he's watching both of these trucks right now battle between each other. Yeah, I don't know which one's saving tires. It doesn't look like either one of them at this point.
And it looks like the rest of the field is kind of able to catch up to them with the battle going on there.
That's a good point. Yeah, when you get side by side, it opens up the draft and it just punches a big hole in the air and allows those other drivers to be able to catch up on them. And you see that again. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be able to see any driver pull away anytime soon. I think it's going to be a battle of tires if you're ever able to. But the battle's going on. This battle for the lead is not ending. We are already 7 laps in, and neither one of these drivers, the front two, is too keen on being in second at the moment.
You know, Gerald, I wouldn't think that this was only, the beginning laps of the race. It looks like they're racing for the finish at this point.
Yeah, that's just how these drivers are, aggressive as they are. They're not afraid. Again, this is all the way at the end of the season. These drivers have raced with each other all season long, so I feel like the drivers right now up front tend to know at this point in time in the season who you can race hard against and who's going to be clean. But you just got to be careful, especially if you're Jared Rexing. You're 20 points up. He wants to get those stage points, obviously, at the end. I believe they're both on lap 20. 20 and 40 is the stage end. Getting that points, 10 points for getting the win would be very helpful and beneficial for his chase opportunity.
And it looks like Rexing is able to, well, as I say that, again, they're battling for the lead, but he had it for a few minutes there.
A few seconds at that. Again, these two are still haven't decided. Jeff Green deciding he's going to be able to try to challenge for fourth position. Not able to do it. It makes you. Oh, we got to spin two chase drivers in the back. Caution is out. That is the number 5 of Alec Ballvance that is turned around. Looks like he got turned around on the backstretch. Is able to get it straightened. Doesn't look like he's got too much damage, but that will put him all the way near the back, and he was up in the points at the time. We're watching the replay now as it goes. Not sure which one made contact first. I'm not sure who got into him. It was a black and white truck. We'll try to see if we can get a better view of it. It looks like maybe the number 7 of Corey Abbott. Trying to get a good view and see here. Yeah, it was the 7 of Corey Abbott. Oh, yes. 7 of Corey Abbott. And both those drivers are chase drivers. That's disappointing for both of them. It looks like Corey Abbott's already dropping down low. Maybe he's admitting that maybe he was the one involved into the contact there. But what that does do, Erica, is it gives us a little bit of a breather because the racing has been tight from the get-go. As we come around, we're going to be finishing up lap 10, coming to lap 11. These drivers do have a set number of tires. They have 3 in the pits. I believe tires are probably going to be too important right now to be able to come down pit road to take them. We'll see if anyone's willing to take that chance. And coming across, no one. Nobody is opting to take the tires. Oh, I say that. There is a few trucks going down. Looks like Harrison Hallen, Ryan Barbrielli, Tom Bourne, one of those other drivers. A few chase drivers actually opted to take tires at this point in time. Not sure how much of a tire wear was important at this point in stage, but they've opted to try a little different. I am saying them change the tires, not just fuel. So we'll have to keep an eye on some of these drivers and see if they're going to be able to work their way through the field if tires truly were a key factor in it all. Well, so far, Erica, what do you see out here? I mean, is this kind of what they represent in NASCAR? Just the tough driving and what feels like almost what you would see in real life at this point on this type of track, isn't it?
Absolutely, very realistic. And I think that the drivers, they realize that the chase is a time when there's a lot at stake and they're racing really hard.
Yeah, there is a lot of stake because, as she stated, at lap 20, there will be a stage in, and points are going to be allowed or awarded at that point in time. It's going to be 10 on to the first place driver, 9 to the second, 8 and 7 and on down, all the way down to 10th place. Gets you a point. Anyone outside the top 10 doesn't get anything, and that's kind of where we stated the issue with Alec Baldwin's is that's going to put him outside any kind of points opportunity as he is all the way back in 24th. Actually, a few chase drivers are actually back there. It's definitely a tale of two on here. Those drivers up front trying to get the points, and some of those drivers staying back there either due to trying to play a strategy call or just trying to keep it out of the carnage. But so far, it's been clean. It's just been pretty aggressive. Well, the pace car lights are out. So we're going to line them back out. Looks like the 10 of Jared Rexing opting to take the outside, figuring that he'd rather have the high line going into turn 1. Didn't really see a preference as to speed for at least the first 10 laps. It looked like it was pretty neutral. A lot of drivers opted to take the high side just due to the draft, but I think the bottom side definitely, at least up in the front, had some life to them, but it looks like as soon as they could, they tried to jump back up to the high side. So Jared Rexing obviously opting to take the high side as a more of a benefit than the bottom side, but a lot of trucks still left in the field, isn't it? We're coming on to lap 12. Coming to 13, so we will have about 7 laps into this stage left to go. Corey Abbott was given an EOL for that accident, so he will be all the way in the back. Pace car is coming down, waiting on Jared Rexing to take the green. He waits. He's really holding him. He's waiting until the final second to do it. And green is out. Jared Rexing takes off. It looks like a pretty clean start. I don't see any too bad of checkup from the back. Looks like the FRN trucks.
Clear?
Yeah, he's able to clear, and FRN truck's able to take to the outside. Oh, Jared Rexing closes the door. Closes the door on Shane Therian there. Chad Thernquist underneath got a little bit of that apron. Got to be careful with that. You don't want to hit that too hard and come up at the racetrack and make any kind of contact.
Looks like the inside line is losing a little bit there.
Yeah, that draft down the back straightaway on that top side line. They're all lined up. They want to be out of it. This isn't Talladega or Daytona, but the draft is still important. But we are 3 wide for second.
61's getting squeezed there, looks like.
Yeah, he's the peanut butter in the middle. He's definitely stuck in between. Able to still stay. Chad Thernquist drops back. 61 trying to make a dive effort to the 10. Not quite able to get to the side of him. And looks like Shane Therian took a very high approach to that turn. And they are 3 wide once again. Some great racing. Looks like Jeff Green opted to take the inside or the outside, get back to 2 wide racing.
So we have the 61 looks like is pretty confidently in second, and then they are going 3 wide after that, pretty much almost 4 wide there.
Yeah, opted not to take it. One of those drivers that we see starting to get into the picture there is that beautiful blue, yellow, and white scheme that it is. Scott, that is a driver desperately needing to win. That is Scott Crump. Scott Crump needs to win this race to get himself into the final playoff position here. Again, this isn't that last race, but he is about 32 points back from the from being in. That might just be a little bit too far back to point your way. Oh, Jeff Green loose. Scott Crump loose. Oh, it's kicking off. The drivers are zigzagging down this straightaway, just trying to figure out a line or an opening to be able to perform a dive bomb maneuver into the turns. So far, I still can't figure what line is the best. It's just whoever can be able to get on the gas harder than the other one. It looks like we do have a battle for the lead. Shaping up again. It looks like it's Jared Rexing. Wouldn't you
He's
figure?
got a lot of momentum behind him.
Yeah, but this time he's not facing Shane Therian for the lead. Looks like this time around he's going to be battling with Bronson Stafford. Bronson Stafford, again, one of those drivers trying to lock himself in tonight. He is in the points. Oh, Jared Rexing, do it. He's trying to make Shane Therian lift, trying to get him not to be on the inside of him. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead here. We only have 3 more laps of leaving to the end of the stage.
And it looks like the 61 might be able to. No.
Yeah, it looks like he has cleared for the lead as looks like the 92 of Chad Thernquist able to give him a nice grab and push past. So now into second is Chad Thernquist.
Then we have the 38 and the 10 battling for third.
Yeah, that's Jeff Green, and that Shane Therian dropping back a little bit, stuck on the inside. That's just what the draft here down these long straightaways. These straightaways, this is a 2-mile racetrack, so it is one of the longest racetracks on the straightaways. 3
and
wide
they're 3
once
wide for
again.
second.
Jeff Green, Jared Rexing, they're close. Oh boy.
And then there's 2.
Now it's back to 2 wide. And this is only the front we're seeing here. We're still, there's racing all the way back there. All the way in the back.
10 coming up on the 61, but not quite getting there.
Here in contact in the back with caution. I'm not sure if there was actually any spin there, but still, battle for the lead has not stopped. This has been a fantastic race for you, Erica, to join us in for, because it's hard to even be able to talk about everything because it happens so quickly.
I know, there's so much going on.
And these drivers are going out there, I guarantee you. Looks like the 90 of Scott Crump hiding underneath Jeff Green. I believe Scott Crump started pretty far back. Yeah, he started back in 13th. He's now worked his way up into the top 4 underneath the. Well, now he's cleared himself up. He jumps right in front of Jeff Green. Oh boy. It's a good thing this isn't the first race of the season, because these drivers know where their bumpers are at. If not, we would have seen a bunch of people on the wall by now, just by the amount of squeezing that's happening on the racetrack. Another driver. Now a driver to keep note, that 31, he has tires. He has tires. They're coming to the end of this, I believe, to the end of the stage here. He has new tires.
And he has help.
Oh,
maybe not.
Boy. Caution is out for the end of the stage. I'm not sure who got it. That was a close run to the end. Bronson Stafford gets the stage win, and Tom Thorne by .05 gets second place with his strategy to get tires. That gives him 9 points. Jared Rexing in third, Chad Thernquist in fourth. Scott Crump comes back up to finish fifth. Jeff Green comes into sixth. Shane Therian drops back from battling in the lead most of that stage to finish in seventh. Hunter Smith in eighth. Trey Holmes in ninth, and Brandon Key to round out the top 10 and to get the final stage point. Boy, if that's the race finish, Erica, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to have the voice at the end of this race, because that was one of the best stages I've seen so far this season in the Truck Series. That was some of the best, just hard, clean racing at this track. So, man, they're talking about making this into a short track in the coming years in real life. And if racing was produced like we just seen right there, I think people would be with pitchforks to stop that from happening if every single race ended up like what we just saw on that stage. That was incredible. And what a run. What a run by Tom Bourne. He started dead last, came down, got tires, but he only had 9 laps and he was relegated back to 28th position and able to pass 26 drivers to be able to get up into second. He's got to stay out, and unfortunately for him, that's what you get with strategy is you're going to have to take the bullet sometime. These drivers only have a set of three tires for the night, which means that yeah, most drivers were saving them for the end of stage one and saving them for the end of stage two, and opting to find time to put them on for the final 40 laps of the race. And Tom Bourne took his tires a little bit early, so he might not be in the best position for the restart, as he's probably going to get eat up. But we're going to see the run down pit road, see who's able to get out front. Seeing a few drivers finishing up their pit stops. Looks like yes, it looks like Bronson Stafford able to get in front, and it looks like Chad Thernko is able to come out in second out of the pit road. Yeah, Bronson Stafford had a fantastic pit stop there. Jared Rexon was able to come out in third there. Looks like Scott Crump was able to come out in fourth. We say fourth, but with Tom Bourne just put all those positions one back from the start of this next stage. So, after seeing stage one, what are some of the key points to this race do you think some of these drivers are going to have to focus on for the rest of the night?
Well, I'm surprised, as you were saying, that that driver was able to pass so many people because it doesn't look like it's very easy to pass at this racetrack.
Yeah, it looks easy, and then it doesn't look easy because you couldn't get away from anybody. But we are able to see passes being made. It's just that, at least for the lead, no one can get away from each other, which for us provides amazing racing to watch at this point. As I stated, this has been one of the most fun I've had watching one of these broadcasts. And if you believe it, it's not just because I have a beautiful lady with me at this point in time. It's also because of this fantastic racing that we're seeing.
Obviously, tires are going to be very important, especially going into the restart. Um, but then again, it looks like a lot of people pitted, so maybe they're on an equal playing field there. And I think that perhaps some kind of uh, working together as far as getting help, pushing, that kind of thing, could be important in making those passes.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. The teammates are playing a factor in somewhat, as you see. Both Tom Bourne, the leader, the driver that stayed out this time, and the driver to the inside of him, as well as Shane Therian, are known teammates there. But another teammate is obviously uh, Chad Thernquist back in third, and in fifth place is Scott Crump. Both of those are teammates. And if bump drafting is a key factor here, well, we'll see plenty of that if it comes down to it. But so far, aggression, people just looks like people just want to lead the races. But pace cars should be coming in this time by, and we will be going green as they come around turn 4. So we're going to be waiting on the 31 to decide to start the race here. And he does. He gets out. Not a big not a big jump, to be fair. It's that's not going to get him out very far. Is still to the inside of him with new tires is Bronson Stafford. And it looks like he might be able to even clear it. He does. He clears him even before getting into turn 2, able to jump up in front of him. And I'm going to predict a lot of these drivers are going to try to find their way quickly around the 31 as he's got 10 lap older tires. 3 wide though, and unfortunately for Jared Rexing, he's stuck behind the 31. It looks like Shane Therian and the 92 of Thernquist able to go to the bottom. 31 got a great turn 3 and 4.
He's got
And
some help, looks like, from the 10 as well.
yeah, Jared Rexing opted to push him. I would have thought he would have fell back, and actually he's actually still battling for the lead. I would have thought tires would have played more into a factor, but looks like he still has some speed to his tires at this point in time.
We have the 38 coming up on the inside.
Yeah,
Looks
with
like
no
he's.
help though.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to drop back if he can. He's going to try to do the dive bomb with one driver doing that. Is going to go down there with him is the 90 Scott Crump. The question is, are they going to be able to find their way to get back up? Because down the straightaways, that outside line just has such a run that they have nowhere to go. Oh, does the 10 try to make it 3 wide? He
He
does. He
does.
squeezed it. He forced it. He got into the inside of both of those FRN trucks, but he's stuck behind another. Oh, he's saying triple at this point in time, and I don't think he's had a lick of drink at this point. But it is tight racing up here. They have not stopped. Oh, you see a little bit of a bump get the 61 and a little sideways down that back straightaway there. 3 wide they go
They're 3
again.
wide for the lead.
Jared Rexing, one of the most aggressive drivers on the track, is going to be able to force it 3 wide, coming to the flag line. Who's going to lead the lap? It looks like it is going to be the 10, going to lead that lap. And still 3 wide, all the way down the front straightaway. But Jared Rexing able to get a good dive bomb run into that turn, and is going to be able to clear himself up for the lead. Right in front of the 61.
Second. And 3 wide for third.
Yeah, looks briefly, but looks like they opted to get back in line. Again, that outside lane down the back straightaway, it was so important, but 61.
61 clears.
Yeah, Bronson Stafford. We're back into this movement of jumping each other and doing a slide job to be able to get back in front of each other. So far, it looks like they are starting to space out a little bit from mid-pack on.
And the 10 goes to the inside.
He does,
like
yes.
He doesn't have points.
Yeah, not able to clear him. I don't know if that's going to affect him because look, here comes the 92. He's going to be behind the 61 and be able to give him a little bit of draft to be able to keep him out in front. But 10's still able to stay to the inside. Going to have another run in this turn. See if you're able to clear him this time around.
Look at that.
And he does.
Ooh.
Man,
Yes.
they are still zigzagging. They are still zigzagging. There's no one content at this point in time. No one is content. They all are trying to get as much as they can. 61 able to do the dive bomb move. He's going to be able to clear back in front of him.
Yes.
Yes, he does. He does clear back in front of him.
They're lining up single file now.
I'm going to believe by the end of the night, we're going to have more lead changes here than we did at any Super Speedway because it's just been phenomenal with the amount of passing and the amount of actual positioning of your truck to be able to get the run to clear going into these turns. But driver in third, blinking a little bit, came in back out. He's back in it again. Is still blinking. I'm sure race admins are going to be take a note of that. Is the number 90 of Scott Crump. Pretty well known to have some internet issues, but when he doesn't, he's always up front. Scott Crump was somewhat up front, but never really got to the lead at any point in time. He's decided to try to change that gear in this second stage. Gonna look down low. Underneath the 10, he's gone. Back again.
61's able to maintain that lead so far.
He does.
With the 10 battling for second.
And so far, it looks like the 90's able to stay to the outside of, or to the inside of the 10. He's going to try desperately to be able to try to get it as close to the leader as possible, side draft the leader, but not able to do it. 61 still able to push himself out, but oh, he is going to clear the 10. Boy, I don't know if they're going to have paint on the end of these bumpers anymore at the end of this race. If there is even bumpers on these trucks at the end of the race.
And then he's inside, looking at least. Getting a
Inside,
little bit of distance from the 10 at least.
inside, but 61 doesn't really have any drafting help either, so both of these drivers are out to their own. So far, they are still able to stay side by side going into turn one. We're already 13 laps into this stage with only 7 laps, and it flies by. It flies by when you're having this much fun and this much excitement with so much going on, that these drivers very quickly are running close to the end of the stage and need to position themselves well for the end of this to gain as much points as they can going into it.
I'm amazed that the 90 is able to kind of keep up the pace that he is without having any help.
That is true. No one really working with a 90, but still has somehow been able to stay to the outside and not lose any real gain or loss to them on the straightaways. Oh, together a little bit of net code. The 10 and the 90 do make contact. Both able to save it, but the 92 gets hit by. Oh no, that's Brandon Key that got into the back of the 92. The 92 is into the grass. He is a playoff driver on the bubble. He was looking in. He's got some spoiler damage and some rear bumper. Well, we're gonna need to go back and watch what happened there, because that, even though that wasn't a wreck, that affected the chase pretty heavily at that point. The 92 just got hit there, and unfortunately for him, uh, is now put way in the back there. A little bit of blinking issue on our end, so we couldn't really see exactly what happened, but it looks like Brandon Key just ended up getting a little too close to the back bumper of the 92. Brandon Key, well known to have a lot of people upset with him in the last race, and unfortunately goes into this race and again does not make any friends. And he's, to their credit, both of them are still going, no caution. But that all started with the 90 and the 10 making contact with each other down the front straightaway. But to their behalf, I think that was due to netcode. The 10 actually looks like he's got quite a bit of left rear damage there on the side, or at least left side damage of the vehicle. Why that's important here is because you see all this drafting, all that bodywork damage is not going to help him. And the 10 just needing to have a good run to set himself up for a decent final race is now going to be sliding back. Caution is out. Caution is out the track. We're going to try to get an idea of maybe where that had happened at, because we were on lap 36 with only, I believe, only about 4 laps left, and it looks like it was the 51, another chase driver, Harrison Talon. Oh no, the 31, oh no, the 31 gets launched in the air. Oh boy, the 31. Oh, Tom Bourne with those old tires, just wrong place, wrong time, and is launched. Let's see if we can go back there, and maybe Eric and I can give you a feeling of what may have happened to him. Oh boy. How would you how would you explain that one there, Erica?
I think he may have joined the Space Force there.
Yeah, he joins the Space Force. Not to, I'm sure it was not warranted on his end. He did not want to do that. Oh boy, man, 31 is going to be out for sure for the rest of this race, and he was in the top 4 in points. In the last 5 laps, we've seen about half the chase drivers just get damage from one problem from another, and it's just it's bad. It's last 5 laps have not been good for a chase driver, as Tom Bourne is on pit road, pretty torn up, and we are on lap 37. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to go back green before the end of the stage here. They may still be able to go green, but yeah, just in those last in the last 5 laps, we saw trouble for the 90. Scott Crump, though, still looks in decent shape, And then looks like another driver that had damage quite a bit from that was Jared Rexing, the point leader in regular points. They all did come down pit road, so I am led to believe that the stage was ended at that point in time. But Chad Thernquist out of the race. Him and Brandon Key made contact there, and boy, so it all jumped off, didn't it, Erica? It just all came to a head at one point in time, didn't it?
So fast.
So fast, and unfortunately for some of those drivers, and heartbreak. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to take a look and see exactly if I'm seeing a lot of drivers staying out. If that truly was the end of the stage, I don't think that was the end of the stage. I think some of those drivers opted to take tires because it's only going to be a one lap real shootout, and that's not real bad on the tires, only one lap, and opted to come in and get their tires so that way they didn't have to stop in after one lap and relegate themselves to the back of the pack. But it looks like a lot of drivers decided to take tires, and that left, I believe, 3 vehicles up front that opted to stay on old tires, and these old tires are going to be close to 20 laps. Those drivers that we mentioned of is Jordan Owens in the number 16, Michael Hosack in the 07, and the 22 of Dylan Jones. And then it looks like the first driver to come out on pit road was Scott Crump, and Jared Rexing, or Jeff Green actually underneath him in 5th position. So they're going to have to strap their belts in one more time and get one really good lap in, because they're going to have one lap, I believe, until the end of the stage. Pace car lights are out, and we will be going green this time back. So most of you don't know this, but Dr. Erica Campbell here, she is a doctor with, I'll let her explain her profession here.
Psychiatry resident.
There you go. So I'll tell you how the cars feel, and she'll tell you how the drivers feel at the end of this, because some drivers at the end of all this is going to be pretty upset. One of those is obviously Chad Thernquist out of the race, taken out by a driver that wasn't in the chase. So we're waiting for the 16 of Jordan Owens to go. He is going now. To their benefit, I'm not seeing any tires swerving, but what we are seeing is some cutting and swerving from the 90 of Scott Crump, and blinking. Always the blinking. But oh, they're 3-4 wide back there. Oh,
So
we're
Crump's
seeing.
able to get the second position, looks like.
Yeah, looks like and going for the
And
lead.
battle for, yeah.
Yeah, the 90. It's not going to be much of a challenge on those old tires. We're seeing contact in the back. Oh, another bit of contact. It looks like they straightened it out, but trying to see who it was. It looked like the 09, Shane Ryan. He got into a little bit of a tussle back there. But back up to the front there, 3 wide for,
Good.
yeah, for the lead up there. I'm not sure what happened to Scott Crump. I was looking back there, but he's now relegated back a few positions. It looks like Jordan Owens still able to pull it off to be up front with the 04 of Hunter Smith in second. A whole cast, a new group of people up here at this point in time, as they're going to be coming, I believe, to take the final lap, if it truly was the end of the stage or not. Underneath, or above him, is Hunter Smith. He decided to take the high line. Ooh, 16 got a little close there. 83, one we haven't even said the name of, really. That's Daniel Martinez. He's opted to take the high side with the 04 of Hunter Smith and able to clear the 16 going into turn 1. So far, they are staying steady at this point in time. 54 is now taking a battle to them, to 4th place, and able to clear, actually, Jordan Owens going down the back straightaway here. 54.
Single file.
Single file now. Look at that paint scheme, Erica, of the 54. That's a, not quite sure what's on it. It almost looks like a Toy Story looking truck. That's beautiful. Happy for him that it's still beautiful on the track. But all the carnage that we've seen the last 10 laps here. 90 cars. Scott Crump decided to take the battle back to the 04, able to
And there
clear
he
him.
goes.
Yeah, well, he's going. He's coming and going because he keeps blinking. Is able to get into second place, and now it's going to be able to try to take the battle to Daniel Martinez. Daniel Martinez started in seventh. We've seen flash of brilliance from Daniel Martinez from time to time. He does have a little rear end damage from at some point in this of this race. You tell me when. It could have been a bump trap gone wrong for that damage, but who knows with the amount of runs people are able to get so far around this track. We stated many times this is the race that I'm sure Scott Crump circled to try to come out here and secure his spot in with missing last week. He needs to get the win to be able to advance his way into the final four.
Like the five have kind of separated from the rest of the field.
That is true. So with no caution, we'll have to restate that the stage must have finished out on that last caution. So those three drivers who had stayed out must have decided that they were going to try to use those tires at a later date is what they've decided to go for. We'll find out if more cautions occur to make that beneficial. But so far, it's been green and more spread out than we've seen for most of the race. Well, real quick, while everything is somewhat calmed down compared to what it was before, Erica's going to give us a little bit of a sponsor shout out for us and let you know who's provided these beautiful shots and why we're all here tonight.
Today's sponsor is Byrd Racing, that's Byrd with the Y, an American racing team in the NTT series, supporting drivers in all forms of racing. Make sure you follow them on Twitter at Byrd Racing with a Y. We also have some premier partners tonight, such as C2 Freight, offering complete freight management services. They're ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future. And they also offer electronic data interchange services, which allow shippers to keep close.
Oh, real quick. Oh, big contact. We'll have to finish up those sponsor things. It looks like Brandon Key once again involved into a massive hit with the 04 of Hunter Smith. Oh boy, both those trucks are absolutely destroyed. I think both of them are gonna slide back at this point in time. We'll have to try to figure out what happened here, but we just missed what exactly happened in that replay there. But it looks like maybe the 54 gave the 17 just a bump draft gone wrong a little bit and able to unfortunately hooked him into the 04. 04 had nowhere to go and neither did Brandon Key, but both those drivers are going to have a major amount of damage. Both are able to continue going forward. About the time I thought we could be able to do the sponsor broadcast, stuff went down, but I'm gonna.
There's not a dull moment.
There's not a dull moment because uh, battles, big battle back there for looks like seventh position. Seventh position's going down big time. Is I just saw four wide at one point in time, and a lot of those drivers trying to work their way back up to the front. Some of those drivers that are in desperate need to try to gain as many points, missing out on some stage points. One of those was looks like Corey Abbott and Ryan Barbielli. Both of those drivers trying to get some points here near the end of this race to have a shot into the last race. Well, while the broadcast is showing this race, I'm gonna have Eric try to finish out the sponsor shout outs that she was doing a well job at. So I'll let you get back to it, Erica.
Okay, so we will try to acknowledge C2 Freight again, offering the electronic data interchange services, which allow shippers to keep close electronic tabs on their shipments throughout the freight movement process. For more information about EDI services or to discuss your needs for other specialized services, please contact C2 Freight. We also have Blue Egg Market, the marketing department for small businesses. Constraints catalyze creativity. And finally, we have Response Energy, specially formulated with a proprietary blend of caffeine, B complex vitamins, and taurine, Response delivers a concentrated boost of focused energy without giving you the jitters. The Response energy drink identity and packaging system exemplify the brand's commitment to form, function, and flavor.
Oh, fantastic. If that didn't make you want to buy every single one of those, I don't know what's wrong with you at this point in time. But other than that, if it wasn't for these sponsors, we wouldn't see amazing racing that we are tonight. And just thank you and shout out to all those sponsors that are on board with Elite here and the Elite Racing Network to allow us to. Oh, I can't do any kind of commentating on sponsors when stuff keeps happening. We saw Shane Therian, or no, it was Bronson Stafford absolutely get sideways. The 8 got onto his back bumper and nearly turned him around there. And I will say that would probably be the drive of the night there.
My goodness,
Oh
10
no,
goes
big
into the
wreck!
wall.
Oh no, our points leader. Oh, oh, Jared Rexing is out. Caution is out. Big wreck down the back straightaway. Jared Rexing getting turned into oncoming traffic and is absolutely destroyed. It looks like Corey Abbott made contact with him and came right up into, I'm not sure who that was. It was a black truck, but oh, it looks like that was Anthony
Is it the
Ludier.
43?
Yeah, the 43 truck. He had nowhere to go for him because he didn't even see that coming. That had to have been scary in his point of view because he was just going straight, and all of a sudden he's going around sideways at the end of the straightaway. 10 just gets pile drived into the wall there. It looks like he missed most of the front end, so he still would be able to go out into the track. But we stated how much importance it was for Jared Rexing just to finish this race up front with no issues. He was 20 points above the cutoff line. He had seen other drivers right behind him have issues. He just needed to finish the night out, and he probably would have locked himself or had a pretty easy way of doing that, of locking himself out, into the chase, going into the final chase race. And unfortunately, he's going to now have to try to battle it into the final race as no one is safe out here. We're only 52 laps in of this 80 lap race, so we still have a total of 28 more laps left, and we are starting to whittle them down at this point, folks.
Gerald, I didn't see. Okay, now everybody's coming to pit road.
Yeah, a good bit of them are going to be coming down pit road. Most of these drivers, this may be their last set of tires. Some drivers may stay out here to be able to use their last set, but again, strategy will play out to see who's safe to set if another caution does come out. Some of these drivers are maybe taking a chance, and this might be their last set for the end of the night. We are not quite sure exactly where everyone's at on tire allowance yet, but looks like right now there's a total of 4 drivers, I believe, to have stayed out. Yeah, looks like who stayed out so far is Harrison Talon with a bunch of damage on his truck. So, fortunately for him, I think he's actually 9 laps down for Harrison Talon. So only 3 drivers, I believe, that are actually even on the lead lap to have stayed out. Harrison Talon just trying to optimize to get as much points as he can because tonight was horrible in his chase perspective going into this race, and 9 laps down relegated him down to 24th in position. He may pick up a few positions for the end of the night, but nowhere near what he was probably wanting. Up front, though, Shane Therian locked in. Go figure. Sometimes it's like that, Erica, where you get locked in, and you're seeing all the carnage, and for anybody, all that carnage wouldn't really be a big deal if it happened to you, but it always seems to work out that way whenever you feel the safest out there, just all goes your way. And that's what we're seeing with Shane Therian right now. He's in the lead with his teammate right behind him, Bronson Stafford. We didn't really get to show it, but Bronson Stafford had the 8 right behind him, turned him sideways, and the 8 was able to do a heck of a job. Not the 8, but Bronson Stafford in the 61. Heck of a job of saving it. I have no idea how he did it. It was completely sideways at that point in time. And right behind him, not really in the chase, but just opting to try to get a good finish to the end of the season. Very good to see Michael Goodman out there. Everyone's favorite driver always. We always really appreciate when we see Michael Goodman in a race. He's one of the kindest guys you see in the race. Always saying hello to everybody and very caring individual. And he's got himself a Christmas theme. You see the Christmas tree on the back of it, Erica? There it is.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty Christmas tree that's got on the back. Very Christmas themed.
So Gerald, I see that we have our first and second place right now are teammates, right?
They are teammates, correct?
So how do you think that will kind of make an impact on the restart here? Or is it kind of everyone for themselves at this point?
Well, you're the psychiatrist, so I would have to leave it up to you to decide if that's important or not. In a driver's standpoint, um, each team is different with how they handle it. Pace cars down. I'm gonna have to say we'll have to find out if they're gonna play more of the teammate role or if it's gonna be all for themselves at this point. But out of any team, they've always been a very team effort oriented group. So we'll have to see if that plays into the effect for the rest of the night. But right now they are single file up to the front at least. It's 3 wide in the back. 90 of Scott Crump dive bombing it, trying to work his way underneath. He made that
You
little
made
bit
the
of
third.
yeah, he made it all the way to third. Oh, the 83 tapped the wall. Oh, Daniel Martinez tapped the wall. I'm not sure exactly why he went all the way that high, but he did, and is now in 5th place behind Goodman. Doesn't look like he's got a ton of damage, but he does have a little bit of spoiler damage. Side drafted, downforce of the race. That's still going to play somewhat of an effect, and that's not what you need to do, especially when you're just trying to get around some of these slower cars with tire strategies. And trying to make it 3 wide, Shane Ryan, he decided to opt to stay behind the 83 there. Not much changing up at the front. Looks like it's still with those refereeing sponsored group team there. Still just lined up first and second. But gaining steadily is obviously the 90 of Scott Crump. He's going to try to see what he can do, be able to split those drivers up in this final run of the race.
Like Michael Goodman's falling back without much help there on
Yeah,
the inside.
Michael Goodman's got some good tires and will be followed back. But right now, we're going to take a shot up to the front. Battle for a second. Scott Crump able to clear the 61. 61 dive on it back underneath the 90. 90's pinching him down, trying to push him down low. Doesn't want to get stuck behind another FRN. He's going to take to the outside. Is he going to be able to get to the side of him going out of the turn? Oh, so close. Oh, they're blocking. Oh, blocked late in the turn there. Almost on the straightaway. Contact made. Both drivers able to keep going.
90's not done.
90 is not done. He's got new tires. This may be
And
his
it looks
final
like
set.
he's going to be able to make the pass there.
Yeah, easily able to make the pass, but with the draft, 38's not done with him. He's going to hopefully be able to stay onto the back of him. The 90 with new tires, 38 without, kind of makes it no contest. I was just surprised with Shane Therian. Again, nothing to lose. So he has no problem with being able to throw these late blocks. 90 is the one that has everything to lose. He needs to win. And then we see a battle for third. A driver just staying clean. Shane Ryan in the chase, doing everything he can just to be able to just do what he has to race his own race. And it's underneath the 61, battle for it. Oh, the 54 gets sideways. Coming out of the turn, saved it. Jeff Green was right behind him, but no contact was made. Looked like the 54 was just trying to see if he could make it 3 wide on both the drivers in front of him. And just lost a little bit of time there, but still has a truck, to say the least. Jeff Green just doing a great job of just being there the whole race. Beautifully clean C2 freight truck. Hopefully able to be there at the end of this race. Well, we see nothing to see. Well, nothing to see from Scott Crump. He's taken off. He has the biggest lead that we've seen of the race so far, as he's now with those new tires pretty easily able to get some distance on Shane Therian. Shane Ryan's still trying to make sure that the 90 doesn't get too far and still able to hope to get the draft on him to be able to close back up. Is able to take the second place over Shane Therian there. and able to clear. And you're just seeing the difference between tires right now. Jeff Green working his way through, 54 working his way through these drivers. But what these FRN drivers were hoping for is one more caution before the end of this race. We have 20 laps left. We've seen with the 31, their Schlitzler truck was able to, in 10 laps, go from essentially 27th up to the second place and almost the lead. So we can see what the tires will really do on these trucks. And now there's a lot less trucks to have to deal with that they won't have to work their way through if caution does come out. Well, right now it looks like Shane Ryan is just 1 second out. Just 1 second. Oh, so close to that whiffing of that draft to be able to catch back up to him. And then essentially behind Shane Ryan is a battle for third going on. 3Y battle for third. Able to clear a good.
54 got it on the inside.
Yeah, that beautiful truck was able to pass both of the drivers going into that turn. Is able to make the pass and clear. Right behind the 54 of Tire Rexing is Jeff Green, trying to battle back. See if he can be able to get back up there. He is in fourth position, a great run, one of his highest running positions so far in the race, and I believe he's on his last set as well. Most of these drivers will be on their last set of tires. Again, these FRN trucks opting to try to play a different strategy move here. Nothing to see really with Scott Crump. He's now, well, he hasn't actually distanced himself. It looks like the 9 of Shane Ryan is able to slowly start working his way back up to him. This last time around, he was a 10th faster, so he is starting to catch back up. He was able to get a little bit of the draft, and slowly start to pull back up. And we're seeing Tyler Dixon and Jeff Green get the draft of Shane Ryan and able to start to work their ways up to him. Some of these tire strategies kind of spaced it out more than we've seen most of the night, and allowed some of these drivers to get these gap ins that you've seen here. We'll see if the draft here is able to bunch them back up, or if some of these drivers were saving something for a late race run here and pushing it as hard as they can. Again, both the top two are chase drivers here. Both would love to be able to lock themselves in. Good battle still going on for third position, as Jeff Green is right onto the back of Tyler Dixon, but is not passing him. He's opting to try to push him. He's staying behind him, just right behind him, content at this moment, hoping to maybe be able to catch up to those front two. Slowly but surely, they have started to close up on them. Shane Ryan, again, that last lap by was a 10th faster. Tyler Dixon, 2/10 faster than the leader, so it is working. But do they have enough time? There's only 15 laps left. And again, a caution comes out, that changes everything. Well, we're running down to the end of this race here, folks. And so far, Scott Dixon has done everything he needed to do and is up front, and has put himself into a grand position. Had a little bit of contact with Jared Rexing with neck coat, but no damage to look like on his truck from it, and able to keep it clean from there on out. And he started back in 13th, so he has worked his way up through the field in multiple occasions at this point. Got a good battle still. I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's battle or just helpful teamwork from that Toyota to Chevy to try to get that push draft down the back straightaway. So who do you see now, Erica, as far as a front runner that seems to have set themselves up in a good position for this final run?
Well, obviously the 90 has a pretty good lead going on and has been a car that is, or a truck rather, that has been kind of moving its way through the traffic and towards the front most of the race.
Yeah, it could look like a car that was maybe already damaged on pit road. Looks like the 90 is kind of stopped the bleeding from losing time on the 9, and has started to stable out a distance. But the two drivers that are on the move on him and are gaining about 2/10 a lap is Tyler Dixon and Jeff Green, with their drafting pushed together that they've collected, have slowly started to reel in Shane Ryan. Shane Ryan's starting to lose the front end of that car and sliding up higher each turn, and it is starting to push on him as he's having a difficult time keeping up with the pace that Scott Crump is setting right now. The question is, when do they stop working together? We are seeing a battle back there with Sam Batwell. And that looks like to be a battle for, looks like 7th position between Alec Baldvance. We saw him earlier in the race get spun around. I believe he was the first caution. That was with contact with Corey Abbott. But again, saved the truck, has no damage. He's now found himself into 7th position, but did lose out on points. Not getting any at both stages. And I feel like it's gonna look back and find that even though a good finish tonight, it didn't look as pretty on the points paying position, just for the mere fact he's not going to gain as much as he could have if he had just been able to keep that truck straight. Unfortunately, with that contact with Corey Abbott, sent him around. Well, we're going to go back up to the front, and it is tightening up. We're coming to 11 laps, coming to 10 laps. Shane Ryan with the trucks behind him at this point now has an easier time catching Scott Crump. And you're seeing it here. Scott Crump still blinking, has been blinking from the get-go. You almost wonder if he gets half points for only being on the track half the time. But all kids aside, he's doing a fantastic job of just being able to stay up there and not have a really big issue from that blinking. He's able to still be able to race close, and so far the internet issues haven't caused any issues for any of the drivers there. But Jeff Green and the 38 and the 54 of Tyler Dixon. I don't know if maybe Tyler Dixon Venmoed Jeff Green some money to help him, but has definitely been a help with his race so far, with being able to catch back up to these leaders. Now they're all within 6/10 of each other. And on this racetrack, that's not much. It looks like a lot, but when you're reaching up to speeds up to 180 and 190, it could one little slip and one little slide will change all that. So here we are, 4 drivers coming to the final 10 laps. Well, so far, Erica, as far as what you've seen tonight, we've seen a lot of chase drivers put themselves in bad positions going into the final race, and now we've seen here some chase drivers put themselves into the final race. Not quite sure if you're going to be with us for next week or not, but going into this chase, do you think this final race, they're going to look back at this race here and wish and wonder what not? You would know better than anyone, being in the studies that you are.
Well, I think that it's human nature to kind of second guess your decisions and uh, especially knowing the outcome, go back and kind of rethink, did I make the right decision here? Um, but these drivers have to make those decisions in the moment. And so I think that they're probably doing the best they can to keep up with the incredibly fast pace of events during this race.
See, all you folks got that for free. If you were having to pay for it, that would have been a pretty penny. Luckily, she's doing this off hours for you folks, so. But yeah, right now it looks like Jeff Green's still pushing the 54, but now they're all caught up together. So now the question comes down to what now? Because they have all been running probably at 100% pace speed. They've been pushing it. They've been running really, really, really fast laps. Do you even have any ability to be able to make the position? I mean, you've seen Jeff Green just so close to the back of the 54, could have easily passed him at any moment. But when does that moment come? The 9 has decided the moment is now, and has jumped to the inside of the 90 with no help behind him, and going down the back straightaway. Caution is out! Caution is out. I'm not sure exactly where, but it doesn't matter as because of the reason of why. It is more into the fact of the matter of what this changes. Uh, and those drivers that have fallen back, uh, we're seeing the caution now. Oh my goodness, 4 cars involved in that one. Hard hits. I'm gonna try to see if we can get a couple little views of that one, but that was some hard hits there on the middle of the front straightaway there. It looks like that black truck, it looks like Jordan Owens just got into the right rear of the '07 there and turned him right into the oncoming traffic there. Yeah, Jordan Owens, Kyle Walgreen involved in that, destroyed trucks. Yeah, looks like Anthony Ludi once again involved in another wreck. So yeah, we've seen. I don't think any of those were chase drivers, but they all are pretty wrecked up now. And now what this has caused us, those FRN trucks now have to decide. I don't know if it's much of a decision since they've all dropped back outside the top 10 with those old tires. They're going to come down and get tires. Now, do they have enough time with approximately 3 laps to be able to work themselves up into a position where they can be able to gain anything towards this final run for the chase or even have a chance at an opportunity to win the race? They have fell outside the top 10 and we're probably looking at it at a loss at the end of the night, but now they've set themselves up. The question is, do they have enough time? Bronson Stafford, one of the first ones to come off of pit road, or is going on to pit road. He should be the first one or second first, yeah, with 38 having to back up there on pit road, all but lock him into being able to beat him off pit road. So it looks like Bronson Stafford will be the one we'll have to watch with new tires. Yeah, he easily clears. Right behind Bronson Stafford is Trey Holmes, Shane Therian, Daniel Martinez. Michael Hozak had a ton of damage from that last wreck. I'm not sure if there's much he can do with how much damage he collected from that. So that should set them up to being in, I believe, 12th position. Very doable. Very doable. Well, that changed everything, didn't it, Erica?
Definitely, we're going to see the field punched up, and I expect it's going to be a pretty exciting restart.
It's going to be a key restart. And for most of these drivers, probably the most key restart they've had this season. One of those drivers is Scott Crump. These drivers have around almost 30 laps on their tires. And that's not going to be very happy when they have to jump on them on the restart here. So, yeah, we're going to have to find out if these drivers are going to be able to hold off some of those tires from behind. They're going to have a delay, so it's going to be even one more lap, and that's one less lap for those drivers with new tires, unfortunately for them. And yes, as I stated, back in 12th position is Bronson Stafford. So the first driver we're going to have to keep an eye on is going to be that 61 of Bronson Stafford in 12th position. He's probably going to be the highest on the track driver, as he's going to have the ability to get on the gas quicker than any of these coming around those turns. But again, you have to watch out with these guys if there's going to be any tire spin. It all comes down to this for some of these drivers. Again, some of them in the chase, if they win here, they lock themselves into the final 4. That's all they want. They want to have what Shane Therian has, which is an easy go of it for the last race before the final 4, where they have to battle it out and duke it out for the win. They've all played into the night. It all leads up to here. Strategy, play calling, setting yourself up into what you have here. the 90 out front Scott Crump in a must-win situation, essentially for here or next week. As I stated, this was a delay of start, so the pace car lights are going to be out this time. Again, it's gonna hurt those drivers that took tires because now they're only going to have 2 laps of it. There are green-white checkers if caution does come out. This isn't a green-white checkered in sense of an iRacing protocol green-white checker, but it will be one for a real-life green-white checker for these drivers. So if caution does come out before the white flag comes out, we will rack them up and send them up again. But 2 laps is all Shane Therian, Bronson Stafford, Trey Holmes, those drivers with new tires. That's how many laps they have to get around. The nerves are racking at this point. Can you feel America?
Definitely. I know it's an exciting restart, and I'm nervous for it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do our best trying to show what's happening all at once. It's going to be difficult because every driver is going to be pushing to the max. The butterflies are in every single one of these drivers' stomachs. We have 2 laps. There's going to be comers and there's going to be goers. But by the end of the night, we will have one victor that we know of. As the pace car will be coming off. Waiting on Scott Crump to take the green, and he goes. The green flag is out. A fantastic restart behind him with Tyler Dixon able to stay to the bottom. The 9 comes down, and I think he might get a black flag for that for going down too early. So that might be an issue for Shane Ryan. Is he might have an issue with that. But a driver to keep an eye on. Hasn't really gained the positions as much as he would hope for coming out of turn 1 and 2. As Bronson Stafford is only up to the 11th position. As here we come down the back straightaway. And Scott Crump leads it going into turn 3 and coming
He
out of
does
turn
have
4.
quite a lead.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff Green's on the outside of Shane Ryan. But so far, no one's even close to the back bumper of Scott Crump. You see those FRN trucks in the back trying to work their way through the field, but the tires, as much as we would have thought, are not as big of a factor. And it's all in his mirror for Scott Crump. He missed out last week. He lived for 2 weeks with what ifs if he raced all this season for nothing. If he was even going to be able to have a shot. He led the regular season points, had a strong season up until this point. And he had to do one thing. And he's going to do it here. He's going to win the Byrd Racing 150. And he locks himself into the Final 4. Scott Crump, congratulations. You are a championship driver for the Final 4. And now he gets to breathe a sigh of relief for him and his team. And he gets to go into next week with one less worry for Scott Crump. Wow. We saw tight racing, and we had wondered what was going to end up being at the end, what it was going to shape up to look like. We've seen Scott Crump in the beginning just play safe, able to avoid any of those big wrecks. And then about the halfway point to the run of the race, he was able to get up to the front. And you saw when he got around those cars with the old tires, he was able to distance himself, not have to battle with anybody, save his tires if need be, and has done it as he burns it down into turn 1. Congratulations to Scott Crump. So what do you think of that, Erica? He did what he had to. The mindset, I'm sure he's elated with what he's just done.
Yes, an incredible race. So many lead changes, so much at stake, and obviously for Crump more than anyone, perhaps.
Well, now the other drivers have to wonder. That's one position taken out of the top 4. Who sets where? 2 positions are already taken into this final race of the next week or in 2 weeks from now. There's only 2 spots left. Scott Crump was way back in points. He he leaps over all of them to gain that one stage or the one champion spot provisional for a race win. That leaves 2 left. One driver that's going to have a decent finish is Bronson Stafford, finishing in fourth. Decided to take those tires late. He's going to have a decent run. He was in the top 4, and he's probably going to continue to be in the top 4. And this all sets it up now for the final race as those spots get harder and harder to get. He burns it down in the backstretch. But we're going to go ahead and give you the final rundown here. I'll let lovely Erica here give you a race rundown of where these drivers finished at the end of all this.
Well, as we have said, our victor today is Scott Crump in the 90 machine, followed by Tyler Dixon in second place, Jeff Green coming in third, Bronson Stafford fourth. I believe it's Trey Holmes in fifth, Shane Therian in sixth. In seventh place, we have Daniel Martinez, followed by William Harrington in eighth, Brandon Key in ninth, Alec Balvans in 10th, Dylan Jones in 11th, Michael Hossick coming in 12th, Hunter Smith in 13th. In 14th, we have Sam Bootwell, followed by Joshua Freed in 15th, Jared Rexing coming home 16th, Michael Goodman in 17th, Sean Ryan 18th, Corey Abbott in 19th, Jordan Owens 20th, Kyle Walgren in 21st, Anthony Ludi in 22nd. In 23rd, we had Harrison Talon, Ryan Barbieri in 24th, Tom Bourne in 25th, Chad Thernquist finishing 26th, and Dustin Dewar in 27th.
As you say, some of those drivers in the chase having horrible nights. Chad Thernquist, Tom Bourne, Ryan Barbieri, Harrison Talon. I mean, all chase drivers. Corey Abbott. I'm not sure what happened to Shane Ryan. He was up front. Unfortunate situation for Shane Ryan. I think he was given an EOL due to him, I believe, going down to the bottom lane when he restarted on the top lane. You can't change lanes here in Elite, so I believe he was given the end of the longest line and put him all the way into the back. Horrible luck for him as he was sitting second going into the final few laps here, and has now relegated him back into 18th. So unfortunate for him. But what we are going to do is, Erica, we're going to bring in some of these drivers that we just witnessed and had a fun time announcing for. First driver we're going to bring into here, we're going to bring in second place driver Tyler Dixon and get a good idea of what happened with him tonight. He and Jeff Green was working really well together, coming up to try to catch up to the 90 and the 9 up front, and was running some fantastic lap times. And there at the end, they looked like they were going to have a battle. And then he had to redo it all for that restart and battle hard with some of those drivers with new tires. Hey, Tyler Dixon, we saw the beautiful truck out there. I'm not sure. I think that was Toy Story on the side of it. You have to let us know exactly what was on the side. But fantastic run for you tonight. How crazy was it out there with the runs and the drafting?
I tell you, man, that was a really fun race. The draft was really fun. Just ecstatic, man. That was a fun race.
That's what it looked like. It looked like there was different points in the beginning. Everyone was really bunched up when there was a bunch of trucks, and then when everyone had to try to work around the slower traffic, it spaced everything out, and then he had to try to dig down and work hard to gain those spots. How much was the draft here? If you went side by side, it looked like it slowed down people quite a bit. What was some of the key factors to position your truck in all night?
Yeah, I said it during the race to our guys in the Discord. It kind of felt like a miniature version of the next gen drafting package at the super speedways, where if you stepped out, you weren't going to be getting back in line. You were heading to the back, so really had to take your chances and make a calculated move. Make sure you did what you were needing to do, unless you were willing to go to the back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you had a fantastic run. Came in second. Uh, as far as your night goes, obviously you're pretty pleased with second. You obviously would want to go for first and everything. But one thing we didn't note was how beautiful the truck was. How about you let us know about the truck, and you can give us also a breakdown of who you want to thank tonight.
Yeah, so the truck is a paint scheme. It's Faith and Trust Travel Agency. It's actually my wife's travel agency. If you're interested in a Disney vacation, give me a shout and I can get you in touch with her. So just wanted to do a little Toy Story action there for you. Thank yous to my team, Scott Crump, uh, been our go-to guy on the team this year. So really thankful to have him. Dylan Jones, Cody Harrington, thank y'all for running with us tonight. But no, just really happy to get Crump into the Final Four. I was really hoping we didn't have that last caution. I was hoping to give him a run for his money there at the end, but just thankful for the finish and thankful to have a teammate in the Final Four.
Well, congratulations to you, Tyler. Other than that, we hope to see you next week and have another good run with your teammate Scott Crump there, and congratulations to you and your teammate and cool paint scheme tonight. We hope to see more of that later on.
Absolutely, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one, and thank y'all for broadcasting tonight. I appreciate it.
We thank you. All right, that was your second place finisher, Tyler Dixon. We're gonna bring up our first place winner here, Scott Crump. We stated it all night how important tonight was going to be for Scott Crump. He positioned himself well, was able to do what he had to. He had he had the dig, the drive to be able to be up front and work hard to stay up front there at the end with older tires. Didn't put a tire wrong at the end of it and was able to come away with the win and had to do what he had to get locked in and finish the season off well to be into the Final Four. And he is locked in now. Final Four, Scott Crump. Tell us about your night and congratulations.
Whew, man, it was a long, interesting night. Whew, I don't know. I tried to be patient. First part, save tires, and I did that for the most part. The draft was a big key. So, about older tires, you want to be on the outside, and right there at the end, I was just saving tires, and I knew he was going to get to me eventually because the draft or whatever. But I was just going to protect the outside, and then I had Tyler, my teammate, come up behind me too. So. Then that caution came out, and that definitely worried me, but we held on.
Yeah, we saw that tires were a key factor, but with 2 laps, it was just not enough time for Bronson Stafford to work his way back up to the front. Play us through as far as your strategy tonight. I mean, obviously you didn't have a set of tires near the end. How many laps did those drivers behind do you think needed to be able to get up? We didn't really see them work up as far as we would have thought as much of a 30 lap old tires compared to fresh ones, but was it just the amount of how you were able to jump out front, or do you feel like these new tires were eventually just bound to get you here?
Oh yeah, they were definitely gonna get me. I say another lap or two, they would have been there. I think I could have made one more lap, but that was about it. They would have blown by me. We were already about a second and a half off the pace.
Well, you did a fantastic job tonight. Now this sets you up. You went from last week or 2 weeks ago watching the race, not able to participate, and just sit and wonder, did you waste your whole season up to this point because you needed a win. You were too far out in points at that point in time, and you come in tonight and you see this race and you see next race as your only opportunities to really come in and be able to do what you need to get into the final four, and you did it tonight. How does this affect now going into next week? It's just now you and Shane Therian have nothing to worry about, and get your mindset ready for the final race.
Oh man, it's gonna be really nice to relax next week because it's Martinsville, and you know how that goes. Anything can happen there. You can get turned around real quick there. So glad to get this win in there, and we had a dominant season. I think we had a 30 points regular season lead, so pretty good season. So we didn't want to end it just because we had a missed day. I just had a kid, so was in the hospital for that or whatever. Hopefully, we can set it up for the championship.
Well, as a driver that had a kid and came back and win the championship, I hope maybe the new kid luck goes your way as well as it did for me, as that it's always fun to have that new ball of joy in your household. So congratulations to you and your wife
Thank
on
you.
your new child there. We're happy to see that your season doesn't end here and that we get to see for the final four because it wouldn't feel right to have the regular season champion with as long of and strong of a run you had this season to end it just due to circumstances such as that. But congratulations to you. We obviously want to hear your shout-outs for all those that make this possible for you to be able to get up here. And I'm hoping you do a shout out to your wife, as she definitely deserves one for what she had to do 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I got to give a big shout out to my wife, Kate. She let me leave the hospital. My son's still in the NICU right now, so we left him an hour away so we can come race or whatever, so we can leave and go back tomorrow. Also, give a shout out to my sponsors, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. He's been with me for almost 3 years now, Jimbo. Um, Also, Tyler Dixon Designs, TD Designs. Give a good shout out for all the paints he does for me, and my teammates at White Lightning. And appreciate y'all broadcasting.
Well, congratulations to Scott Crump, our first place driver and now championship for contender. Other than that, that's going to conclude tonight's race. Man, Eric, looking back at tonight's race, what exactly were some of the things that were most of an eye opener for you?
Well, I have to say, I was really surprised by just how many lead changes there were throughout the race. It was fast, it was exciting. Um, there were quite a few incidents during the race, but perhaps not as many cautions as I had expected. Um, but I just thank you for letting me be part of this and kind of getting an insight into what you do on Sunday nights.
Yeah, Sunday nights I'm on here, and she allows me. This is my lovely wife, Erica, and she definitely uh, I wouldn't be doing this if she said I couldn't. Let's be fair. I wouldn't be doing this if she said I couldn't do it. But she's been a wonderful rock in my life, and allows me to be able to enjoy things like this with Elite Racing Network and get to watch these truck drivers go at it and produce such storylines that we've seen, such as tonight. And if you're gonna have to tune into or go on to Elite's Twitter page to get a full rundown of where everyone finished at in points for this final race coming up at Martinsville, as Scott Crump had alluded to. Martinsville coming up for the next run for these drivers to finish up that final stage in Martinsville. It speaks for itself. You have no idea what you're going to get at Martinsville. All I can tell you is that we saw beating and banging. We saw a lot of drivers upset with each other. There's no better place to get your revenge than there if you had any. And we're going to have to find out if anybody has anything to say for each other. But for two drivers that have nothing to worry about, Shane Therian and Scott Crump, they go into Martinsville with one less worry on them as they can now just finish where things lie and just watch the chaos unfold as we go to Martinsville next week. I'm sure it's going to be an exciting one. I hope everyone tunes in and decides to watch it. You just watched the Old Testament Truck Series, Byrd Racing 150 here at Auto Club Speedway. And if you had much as fun as I did, then make sure to do a shout out and like and subscribe to our channel here. We'll be back at it again. I like to thank, again, my lovely wife, Dr. Erica Campbell. Maybe this might be not the only time she may get enough shout outs for her to join back up again, as she did a wonderful job in the truck series here. And again, Dave Huckleberry for our producer here, he did a fantastic job as well. And I believe next week will or next 2 weeks from now will be the next truck race. Hopefully everyone tunes in and gets to enjoy this wonderful truck series once again.